wala ke dok ko ade ke sai yo abri ko pho particular last September chi khui so kiro khisri ni mu bui ni la mi Sunday la pa kabu tho pa do ke sai yo ko ni lo ke sai churi u lo all of wa di yamani ta ti asuni ni wala shukina ki ya ni kemani ta ti ke ki over da ya pa me te wa sa ke te ke to ni ti lo apu atoli no mutini ni ke ki o ki paตัวนี้อีสาวชื่อว่าเราภาษาเลยก็ใช่ว่าก็ลิกท่าและท้ายสอบเรืออยู่ลุยชื่อที่บ้าเราแต่ตัวนี้อีบ้าขาดอมือไม่ชัดตัวนี้อีแต่ละบ้ากว่าชิมเมรอชอดตาปดอปุเลือเอาไว้ที่ผ้านาก็ใช่ชุครีมาชาดอชื่อถือเลืออุบุนีอาคุกกูดูมาเลือตาตามันที่ผ้าเนี่ยตาสู้ตาซ้อที่ผ้าเนี่ยโคตรตาดอเอาไว้ที่ผ้าก็สิก็ป้าลอตาสู้ลุมาดอฮีบ้ากีตาโปที่ผ้าเลือก็ชื่อถือแล้วไว้ที่ตามิตาต่อพูนี่เนาะคนนี้ตุลุลิเชชิคาราเทวดา SDA ตาอุพุมีตาอุพุอันนกก็มีอัตวาเนาะเขาเนี่ยดูว่าติกว่าวันนี้ดอกมีอัตวาจะมีแต่ตัวเขาเลยเด้อก็คือกันน่ะตาอุพุนี่และอัตป้าดอกครีนี่มีอัตวาจะมีแต่ตอนนี้ปกันน่ะตีพันนี่ล่ะเพื่อตาอุพุนี่ประกอบเลยบลูทีครีโพเนาะตาอุพุเนาะบลูทีตาอุพุดอกปกป้าคือดอกกระจายชูครีเราตาเอาพวกเลือกคริสป้าวันนี้มีอัตรามีตัวเลยนี่ตัวลูกประเทศที่ก็บ้าตัวนี้อบนี่ที่ก็บ้าตัวนี้ตาจะมันเอาคนเราพอยุดาคริสพวกเลืพอยุดาพวกเลือกเกี่ยวกับคริสพวกที่ภาษีก็ตาแค่บ้าเราพอยุดาพวกเลือกแต่หน้าก็ใช้ชูคริสที่ภาษีก็แต่หน้าเมเซียที่ภาษีนี่ดูละคนเราที่ต่างหน้าเราอยากดูเป็นมีพอยุดาพวกว่าปัจจุบันเขาเราพอชิลาพวกว่าเป็นมีพอข้อบ่มุพวกเจนไทยอาคุดอตัวลุ่นตัวนี้ตาตามันนี่มีตัวที่ผ้าบ่น่าจะใช้ชุครีเนี่ยวิ่งไปนี่ล่ะผ้าเนี่ยเอาไว้ที่ว่าตัวลุ่นจะชี้เทวดาพวกไปชี้ถือเลยจะชี้ตามเมตตาตัวจรเลยจะชี้แต่นักกีฬาตาชี้ถือเลยจะชี้ตามเมตตาตัวปุ่นนี่อาจจะมือกูได้ก็ใช้ชุครีอาคุดอเนี่ยมีตัวมือก็ใช้ชุครีนี่เทวดามือนี่มีตัวเทวดาตาเทวดามือนี่มีตัวเนี่ยก็ใช้ชุครีเทวดาเลยเยอะได้นี่เยอะme muni akasa me oboni akcha khamya muni ni yeti la ne ti do muni ni yeti la ne ti le pa kenyo ago te mi le pa kenyo le muni ago ba khamya ne muni ne no oda ne chuko mo le no ka ba control o me muni de ba control ka da ke na ne me pa do da muni mi so ti ka ba ke ra ne ke cha ra ne control ke na bo ho ne ke ro wa ne ke ro ku muni a ku ni la akho do pa plo ba da di na to ne me pa ke ta o ra kha roဒီလေတာအော် control ကြတာနဲ့ကဲတာတာအော်ကုနေလားကိစ္စရှိရအဲ့တော့ပထုဖလက်တာဥတာသေးဖာနေကိုတော့ဟဲလိုပဲတော့မင်းလည်းပွဲတာပတုတာသုတာသောတနေပါဟိုတတာတော့ကိစ္စရှိပြပါဟဲလိုလားပတုတာသောတာသုတာသောမင်းနေကိစ္စရှိတလို့ဟဲလိုပါတဲပါခွာလေတာအော်နေတမီတာလာရီတို့ပါဖဲ့နဲဝလာအော်တာနေတပတ်စီညော့ခွာလေအတောအော်တာသေးဖာပါတော့ခွာလေအတောအော်ပါတာသေးစကောတဘာကွာတလို့ရှိကောကွာကူပါပါနော်အဝေးစောကတာအော်တကလူအော်ပါနေပပယောခမယတာအော်လေတဲလူပဲဖေးထောညာပါမေကြီးတပမင်းနေပချိပလူကြရွာဖနေလားနော်ပချိပလူကြရွာတော့ပချိတော့ပလူကြပေါ်အော်လားတလာရီတို့နေပပချိတော့ပလူကြရွာတပခါလေထောညာတမတာအော်တိတဖပါဝလာဖာတို့မူနီပတော်တိတဖနေသာပိနော့ကိုရတာကဆက်ရွာလာတေလို့မူနီတကဟိုတော့မေတ္တကမလာဝတိတဖကိုရနေခရစ်တီလပွားလေးဟိုတော့တမနီလေတကဟတူစီရလပွားလေမိတာကဆက်ရှုခရီလောတာသုတာသောမှာချေပါတပါပါမူနီမီသောမှာချေပါတပါပါတာအော်မှာချေပါတပါပါဥဒါကဆက်ရှုခရီကလောဒီပကပသိညာဖေးတော့အဲ့တော့ဟိဘာကီတော့ပွဲပါစုကိနာကတာတဲ့ဖာနေနဲ့တပခဲတာအော်တခဲမူနီမီသောရခဲကဆက်ရှုခရီနဲ့ပါတော့ကနေခဲချစ်တဲ့ဒူလကဆက်ရှုခရီနေမူတနီနဲ့လက်မခုဘောမနေမူနီမီသောတော့လောကနေတာတော့ချောပါတော့နော်တယ်မြကဆက်ရှုဒီမှာကချောတော့ဝီလီကဆက်ရှုရီနော်ချောပီတရူရှိကနေနေရတော့ပါလီဒီကီလောhello sir blo cho poi tru ta na khu no le khi ni cho poi tru na khu ko ta da ko chho ba ni ni de min ba kha le ta o ba min le ka cha yo apwa go mu kho ni a wen ni ba wen na pu ka da ki min le pwa ka nyo ho ma pe de do te ni de ba kha le ta o ba tho nya ni mi do ba ki a kha a ko ni mi o do a kha tho ko da ni ti kle o da wen ni la no ko la ti la de ba kha da ta ki ko ki da no de mi ba ni de te wa da mi mu ni mu so mi ta o te wa no kha ba do yo abo mu ne te mi ba ta o ba agidi pala ma khriya ta ma le ta da pha ni Apune, metaba yuata, dota gilo pakinyo amelo. Komiane prine pado minimuto, pado da soda, pado we. Na pado da soda, na pado minimuto, na the little boy who says you creep by him as sinner. Katie ne mimi for la pado da soda on in. Neba madi, dog says you. Kisha your malora, Joe Braha, did a kind of bakudri. No. Joe Braha tapali, kisha your moko bacola. Kula kisha you create a cola, but a takula minia, Kosandeva. Move winniba, Rihani Tevra, Lebamu, the Kanata did a panny. You did not who not blow. Yet Chomo Layama created the Mudagini, Lebamu no to blow.
We have reached a critical defining moment in our story. By isolating the weekly holy day from its biblical roots, church leaders cut off the Sabbath from its source of spiritual meaning. It would become a hollow formality, a political hot potato, a test of authority, and a pawn in a centuries-long power struggle.
Sunday was an attractive replacement for Sabbath because Sunday was beginning to draw to itself a certain amount of aura because of new developments in the pagan religion that made Sunday the day of worshiping the sun and thinking of the sun.
I suppose it was inevitable that elements of pagan worship would find their way into Christianity. Christians were, after all, a small minority in a distinctly pagan world, a world that worshiped mythical gods, dead emperors, and the invincible sun.
Historians commonly date the beginning of the Roman Empire as 31 BC. That's when Octavian defeated the forces of Antony and Cleopatra and came back to Rome to rule as the first Caesar, Caesar Augustus. And it was at that time that he shipped back to Rome 2 great obelisks.
One of those he set up in the Circus Maximus. You know, it was not only that it was dedicated to the sun god, but it was also a very visible sign that Rome had conquered Egypt, that the dedication on it said, Caesar Augustus dedicates this as a gift to the sun, but it also says, because Egypt has been conquered. And so the people who came to the Circus Maximus to watch the games could see not only this dedication to the sun, but also the realization that the Roman sun god had prevailed over the Egyptian sun god.
Reports from the mid-1st century provide additional evidence of the popularity of sun worship. The notorious Emperor Nero commissioned a sculptor to create a statue nearly 115 feet tall, topped with the likeness of his own head in the style of the sun god.
When Vespasian built his great amphitheater, which we call today the Colosseum, he took that enormous colossus is the ancient word for statue, that enormous colossus of Nero, changed the features on the face, and dedicated it to the sun god.
Emperor Elagabalus was so devoted to his eastern sun god that he took the deity's name. He brought his god in the form of a black meteorite all the way from Syria to Rome and adopted an Eastern lifestyle.
And so his Eastern dress and his Eastern orgies and his Eastern behavior brought Elagabalus to grief after 4 years. And even though his god was sent back, the black stone was shipped back to Syria, that sun worship continued.
The ancient historian Plutarch reports how the Roman general Pompey went to the eastern Mediterranean to deal with a problem of pirates attacking commercial shipping. This is about 50 BC. Well, he conquered the pirates, captured them, brought them back to Rome. Turns out the pirates were worshippers of Mithras, the sun god. And from those pirates, the worship of Mithras became very popular in Rome, especially among the military.
I think that Roman military men would find Mithras a particularly attractive divinity. He was a warrior himself, fighting for the forces of good. It was a hierarchical religion. and one could progress from grade to grade. There were 7 grades of Mithraism, much like in an army. And thirdly, it was a religion of brotherhood and fellowship. They would meet together not only to worship their God, but to eat a meal in common. We hear about Roman soldiers having come back from the east who pray at dawn, facing the east, facing the sun. And this is when we begin to get in Rome a mention of Deus Sol Invictus. That is to say, the unconquerable sun god. Unconquerable because the night tries to conquer the sun in each 24-hour period. But at dawn, the sun has survived. The sun has vanquished the night.
The importance of sun-worshipping cults in the Roman Empire is shown during the reign of Aurelian, who was emperor from 270 to 275 AD. He established a state religion that included the worship of both the emperor and Sol Invictus, the invincible sun. He tried to unify all religions under the sun god. Diocletian, who came to power in 284, was also devoted to the sun god. He maintained Aurelian's principle of a state religion and even declared himself to be a god. Eventually, he ordered the persecution of Christians.
The cruel massacre of the Catholic Church during the Dark Ages continued to the Holocaust, which killed 6 million Jews, the most tragic event in human history. From 1933 to 1945, 6 million Jews, including 1.5 million children, were slaughtered in 15 European countries, such as Poland, Russia, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Romania, Yugoslavia, and Greece. All property of the Jews was confiscated. Women were dragged naked in public. They suffered from starvation, infectious diseases, confinement, and public execution. The Jews who survived faced a miserable death in gas chambers in concentration camps built by the Nazis. When the gates of the concentration camps for the Jews were opened as World War II ended, the world was shocked. In the concentration camps, there were dead bodies of the Jews that were not buried yet, piled up like a mountain. While Hitler massacred 6 million Jews under the pretext of ethnic cleansing, the Catholic Church publicly advocated Hitler's genocide of the Jews, claiming it stood for anti-Semitism. When the Nazis' genocide of the Jews reached its peak, Weissmandl, a Jewish rabbi, sent a letter to the Vatican to ask for help. He begged the Pope to save the innocent Jews, especially young children. 1.5 million out of 6 million Jews who were slaughtered were children. His plea was a desperate outcry. However, the reply he received from the papacy was not just heartless, but blood-curdling.
There is no such thing as the innocent blood of Jewish children. All Jewish blood is guilty, and the Jews must die, because that is their punishment for that sin.
the Catholic Church was always hostile to the Jews for the reason that they had killed Christ. And they committed countless murders under the pretext that they were punishing the Jews on behalf of God. This kind of attitude of the Catholic Church greatly affected Hitler, who was Catholic.
Dann wird das Ergebnis nicht die Bolschewisierung der Erde und damit der Sieg des Judentums sein, sondern die Vernichtung der jüdischen Rasse in Europa.
Hitler was a fervent Catholic. The reason Hitler extremely hated the Jews was from the historical experience of the Catholic Church, which had treated the true Christians and the Jews mercilessly for 1600 years. For this reason, Hitler was able to commit the Holocaust, sending 6 million Jews to gas chambers without hesitation. Before the massacre of the Jews began, the Catholic cardinals officiated in Mass for blessing the German Nazi guards. And the Catholic Church publicly advertised Hitler's genocide of the Jews. The Catholic Church has committed crimes against humanity for centuries in the name of religion. They committed the crime of killing 50 million Christians and the Holocaust of killing 6 million Jews. The traces of the massacre of the Jews still remain at the Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland. The pictures of the Jews and their belongings are displayed in the concentration camp, showing how the Jews were mistreated, cursed, and insulted. These horrible times remain in the records of history. But all the errors of the Catholic Church are disappearing from people's memories, little by little.
I have repeatedly offered $1,000 to anyone who can prove to me from the Bible alone that I am bound to keep Sunday holy. There is no such law in the Bible. It is a law of the Holy Catholic Church alone. The Bible says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." The Catholic Church says, "No, by my divine power I abolish the Sabbath day and command you to keep holy the first day of the week." And lo, the entire civilized world bows down in a reverent obedience to the command of the Holy Catholic Church. T. Enright, CSSR, in a lecture at Hartford, Kansas, February 18, 1884. The Catholic Church for over 1,000 years before the existence of a Protestant, by virtue of her divine mission, changed the day from Saturday to Sunday. The Catholic Mirror, September 23, 1893. Question: which is the Sabbath day? Answer: Saturday is the Sabbath day. Question: why do we observe Sunday instead of Saturday? Answer: we observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church in the Council of Laodicea, AD 336, transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. Peter Geierman, The Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine, 2nd edition, 1910, page 50. Question: have you any other way of proving that the Church has power to institute festivals of precept? Answer: had she not such power, she could not have done that in which all modern religionists agree with her. She could not have substituted the observance of Sunday, the first day of the week, for the observance of Saturday, the seventh day, a change for which there is no scriptural authority. Stephen Keenan, A Doctrinal Catechism, page 174. There is but one church on the face of the earth which has the power, or claims power, to make laws binding on the conscience, binding before God, binding under penalty of hellfire. For instance, the institution of Sunday. What right has any other church to keep this day? You answer by virtue of the third commandment. The papacy changed the fourth commandment and called it the third, which says, remember that thou keep holy the Sabbath day. But Sunday is not the Sabbath. Any schoolboy knows that. Sunday is the first day of the week. I have repeatedly offered $1,000 to anyone who will prove by the Bible alone that Sunday is the day we are bound to keep, and no one has called for the money. It was the Holy Catholic Church that changed the day of rest from Saturday, the seventh day, to Sunday, the first day of the week. T. Enright, CSSR, in a lecture delivered in 1893.
Thank you, Bishop.